Crimson Trace now offers a complete line of electronic sights, ranging from a fixed magnification battle sight to reflex sights with the latest power management features. Purpose-built and versatile. Find yours at crimsontrace.com.
Keep your powder dry, lock, stock, and barrel. We'll talk about anything related to guns. It's Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Call now, 866-TALK-GUN.
357 41 Magnum or 10 millimeter. Questions. Well, we can talk about that at some other time. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN. If you have something you want to talk about, we're open lines for you right now. If you don't like guns, if you've stumbled upon this and you're going, oh, geez, those gun people, call me and let me know why you don't like guns. Even worse, I hear people say, I hate guns. I hate guns. Really? Okay. I don't get that. I mean, I don't have that experience, and maybe you have something that happened to you, but I'd like to know what the story is. Why? We'll move you up to the front of the line. Give me a call. Call me at 866-TALK-GUN or just call Tom Talk Gun. Andrew has been on hold for quite a while, traveling through Virginia. Andrew, on 5, thank you so much for your patience. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tom?
I am great. What's on your mind?
Well, hey, I am looking to change up my carry gun after 17 years, and you finally convinced me to get something other than night sight. And so I'm looking at something like the P325 or the Hellcat, something with a red dot and potentially a laser and light. But is all that superfluous, or am I crazy to try to think I can fit all that in a small package? What are your thoughts?
Actually, you can pretty much get all of it into a relatively small package these days. Probably the combo you're going to end up with is a small red dot. And what you want to do is get a pistol that is already milled out for that it comes ready for the red dot. I will tell you that just this week, it's weird you recall, just this week I ordered the SIG P365 XL Romeo 1, which is a big, long name for a 365 slightly larger than the original one, but not only already milled out, but actually comes with the red dot sight already mounted on it, ready to go. I don't have any experience with those other than just tinkering around the range. I want to really shoot it a lot and carry it. And then what I'm thinking is you go with that, something like that. Doesn't have to be that. It could be any of because Hellcat comes with that. You can get different pistols set up for red dot. And then probably a rail-mounted light laser combo. And the only deal there is you're just going to have a holster that will, handle the rail-mounted light. But that shouldn't be a problem. How do you carry? Appendix, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock? What do you do?
I typically carry 4 o'clock, but I've been looking at the appendix as an option as well.
Okay. If you can do appendix, and not everybody can, just from body style, shape, and all that, appendix can be really good. I'm still working on the idea of where that muzzle is pointing some of the time. I'm working on that concept. And I know that the thing is, a lot of people I know and respect use appendix. I'm kind of a 3:30 to 4 o'clock guy. That's where I like to wear my gun. So there's that. But, it is personal preference. It's whatever you want. But there are a lot of good holsters that will handle these small-ish, or if you will, mid-sized pistols with a light and laser combo on rail. You probably, in most cases, you probably don't have to do anything special to the holster to allow for the red dot, but you would want to check that out. Now, you're a Glock guy, though. Have you considered staying with Glock?
I have. I'm open to anything. But, that's been my issue is I've carried a Glock 27, but there's no rail on it, and the grip is already so fat to put like a Crimson Trace laser on top of that is too big for my hands.
Have you looked at the Glock 43X or the Glock 48, the single stack?
I have. The thing that I like about the two that I mentioned before, the SIG and the Springfield Armory, is the round count. I still probably like to stay with either the double stack or, as you so aptly coined, the stack and a half.
Yeah. I understand. I will throw out one other thought. It's kind of a unicorn and hard to get right now, but there's an outfit up in Montana called Shield Arms, and they are making a double stack magazine that goes into the Glock 43X and the Glock 48. So you go from 10 rounds to 15 rounds without changing the pistol itself at all. But I'm sorry, it's weird. I'm signed up to get the alerts when they become available, right? And every time I get the email, I check my email, and it's like 2 hours old. I go online, they're all sold out again. So I still can't get one, But yeah, that's one of those things that's a possibility. They're not quite there, but yeah, you're right. And they're not set up for the red dot. There's that. You would have to do some milling or get a slide. So you're kind of back to the P365 or the Hellcat or one of the other pistols that's set up. And I would strongly suggest you get one that's already set up for the red dot. What is motivating you to go to the red dot?
Well, biggest thing for me is I have been training a lot. I guess I shouldn't say that because I've been practicing a lot.
Right.
The thing on my bucket list that you can convince me of is getting more training. But I've been practicing a lot with, focusing on the front sight and, keeping the target blurry. Mm-hmm. But I do feel that would be very, very difficult to do in a, self-defense situation.
Yeah. In a true threat situation, you're going to be looking at the threat, trying to look at the hands, trying to find out what's going on. And I like the idea of just inserting a dot into that while you can keep your threat focus, as they call it. There's something, and then, of course, once you get a red dot on your pistol, you need to do a lot, and I'm talking about a lot of dry fire draws. Drawing, lining it up, pressing the trigger, and then put it all back in your holster, try it again. Because it's different, and you want to make sure that this is one of those deals where you want to have your draw right, which means when you draw, you pull your gun out of the holster and it comes up as high as you can right next to your side. You do not sweep it forward like a bowling movement, but you pull it straight up, and then you simply drop your elbow down, and then that rocks the muzzle out. You mirror your hands together right there next to your pectoral muscle, and then you start pressing out, and what happens is that's going to give you a chance to look through that red dot as it's coming out. It's moving basically away from you, from your chin all the way out to full extension. And by the time it hits full extension, you should be seeing the dot, and you should be on target. But that's where you have to really practice your draw and get it right. Do me a favor. Once you figure out what you're going to do, once you get your gun, you get it, give us a call back, give us a range report on whichever one you decided and how it's going, okay?
Will do.
All right. I appreciate it, Andrew. Thank you, sir. Drive carefully.
Thank you.
Let's go. All right. Let's go to Taylor on 4 out of Grantsville, Utah. Taylor, you've made it on to Gun Talk.
Yeah, Tom, I just want to give an update on the 2020.
Great.
I went to the Gun Save Live event here in Utah on Thursday.
I saw pictures from that. There were a lot of you guys there, and guys and gals.
About 300.
So how was it? What was it like being there, and what happened when you were there?
It was a really neat feeling being a part of something big like that. And, it was so packed that no more chairs. They ran out of T-shirts and signs, and I just felt like it was a good unified event, and I think we kind of got the message across.
There's something to be said for seeing, and you guys went with the blue shirts, if I remember right. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you got
with the white lettering.
Yep, 300 of you all wearing these blue shirts, and you're massed together and getting the group pictures taken, and it's pretty hard to ignore for a legislator. Now, I know that the Moms Demand groups also did the same thing, but you know what? They've been doing that for several years, and we haven't been showing up. So all of a sudden we show up and they're going, I guess maybe all the public isn't for gun bans and gun control.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like. It wasn't just your stereotypical gun owner. There was young people, older people. There was people who brought kids. It was a good turnout on all fronts. I was surprised at how many younger people were there.
When by younger, are you mean kids or just like young voters?
Teenagers.
Oh,
teenagers with their family and a lot of young voters too. You could say.
Okay, all right. And I see a note here. You also want to mention your EDC.
Yeah, I'm a little old-fashioned. I carry a commander size 1911 with usually just one extra backup mag. Usually just carrying a basic Kydex in the waistband holster, and I always have my Streamlight Stylus Pro light on me as well.
So you're carrying, is that a 7 or 8 round mag with that commander you have?
8.
So you got 8, so you got 9 in the gun and 8 on your side.
Yep.
Would you ever consider adding one more mag?
I would. I need to find a good mag pouch, set up, and I think that I would definitely want to have 2 mags as a backup.
Nice part about 1911 mags is they're so darn thin, you hardly even notice them. The only thing is they're a little bit longer than some mags, but again, it's a case of what your body will work with. But if you could find a way to add one more magazine, I think it would give you a little peace of mind, because I can tell you from experience of doing all this force-on-force work that we do, it takes no time at all to go through 8 or 9 rounds in a situation. And now you're thinking, oh, now I'm down to 8 rounds, and I sure hope this thing doesn't get squirrely on me. So I would just throw that thought out to you. But look, if you can shoot a 1911 and you practice with it, that is a great option. It really is. Congratulations I think you chose well.
Well, thank you.
All right. Taylor, thank you so much. And thank you for your activism, the 20 in 2020 concept. It's real. Thank you, sir. Keep doing that. Keep spreading the word to get more people out. I appreciate that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. Mike, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you in Idaho. But we have room for others if you'd like to join us. Again, 866-TALK-GUN.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Thompson Center introduces the TC Compass 2 and TC Compass 2 compact hunting rifles, featuring a threaded muzzle and new Generation 2 trigger system with a crisp, light pull for that legendary accuracy in the field. Available in popular calibers, the TC Compass 2 is a feature-rich rifle packed with value, and the adaptability of the TC Compass 2 compact is perfect for a broad range of hunters and shooters. Make the shots that count. Visit tcarms.com.
Back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. Let's see here. Mike's with us out of Idaho on 5. Hey, Mike, what's on your mind, sir?
Hey, howdy. I bought a brand new PMR 30 from Keltec. It's excellent. Beautiful little pistol.
Yeah.
But 30 rounds of, 22 mag. What a deal, huh?
But
I take it out and shoot it, and every shot 8-9 inches low, and there's no way to adjust the sights.
Weird. Shooting it standing up, did you try it from a rest? I mean, where I'm going, obviously, is it possible that it's you, or do you know it's the gun?
Oh, it's the gun. I shot it. My friend shot it, and it did the same thing for both of us. And so I send it back to him, and now I got to wait 5 weeks for my brand new gun.
Oh, man. What'd they say?
They didn't know. They just said, send it back to us. And so I did, and then I find out it's going to be 5 weeks.
I assume you tried different kinds of ammo?
No, I just tried it out with let's see, what did I buy? Just a sec here. I bought Hornady 45 GR FTX is what I bought.
And what was the distance you were shooting?
Oh, about 25 yards at the most.
Okay. And it was hitting about 6-7 inches low?
About 6 to 8 low, yes.
Okay. Don't know what they're going to do, but I would offer this thought, 2 thoughts. One is that I would sure try different ammo because 22s, and this is a 22 Magnum, they tend to be very ammo particular and shoot to different places. And the other is shooting it from a bench rest. And because as far as the accuracy and where the sights are, there's really no way to know that unless you're shooting it from a bench. Because, could be both of you shooting it low. I realize it's less likely, but I'm just throwing out some thoughts there. I will be very interested to see what they say when they send you back that gun. If you would, when you get it back and take it back to the range, could you give us a follow-up call to let us know what happened?
Yeah, be more than happy to.
That would be great. I appreciate that. I mean, because most companies are real good about taking care of it, but it's one of those deals, and I appreciate the call. You can't really know what a gun's doing by just shooting it offhand. I mean, you can get a pretty good idea. If you're a good shot and you're going, yeah, I mean, I know I have a good trigger pull, and I know normally I shoot very well, and this one shoots low. Okay, it shoots low. But particularly with 22s, you want to try different kinds of ammo and see where it goes. So there you go. Let's go to line 3. Line 2. Let's see. Becca Mom in Austin, Texas. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. And your name is Becca?
Yes.
Okay. So what's on your mind?
Well, I have an 8-year-old little boy here who wants to give you his range report.
Well, okay. What's his name?
His name is Alex.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Good.
Good. So you had a range report for us?
Yep.
What kind of gun did you shoot?
A
22.
22.
Bolt action.
Bolt action Ravage.
Okay.
Savage rifle.
Savage rifle.
So who did you go out shooting with?
Who did you go with?
Granddad and Mom.
Yep.
Granddad and Mom took you to the range. Okay,
yes,
cool.
Granddad is a big listener of yours, and you actually read the email he sent last week talking about Alex's first experience at the range.
Okay. So, Alex, how much fun was that? And what did you guys do? What kind of targets did you shoot? Tell me about your day at the range.
It was good.
Uh-huh.
What kind of target did you shoot?
A rainbow, I believe.
There was a rainbow one? Tell me about the big thing.
The big thing, I got like a big target.
And what did you shoot on that? Bullseye? How many?
10 bullseyes.
10 bullseyes?
Yep.
That's great.
It was his third target practice that he was shooting at, and he got them all right in the center. It was pretty impressive.
That is impressive. Well, that is just terrific. So are you going to go shooting again?
Yes.
What's the next thing you want to shoot, Alex?
A pistol.
And then?
An AR.
Yep. He has it all planned out.
I guess so. That is terrific. Well, all right. So here's what we're going to have more range reports, Alex. So when you shoot other guns, you got to give us a call back, okay?
Okay.
That sounds
great.
Thank you so much. Becca, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is a quality range report right there. I love that. Jim says, will Alex give me lessons? Yeah, no kidding. That's terrific. If you have a range report, you've been out doing some shooting, particularly if you're taking anybody to the range, introducing people, That's so much fun. It just is. Let's see. Oh, this story. I want to make sure we get this story in here. This is very cool. Let me find the beginning of it. Cincinnati. A black church on one day puts 179 women through a concealed carry class. How cool is that? 179 women go through the concealed carry class in the basement of this church in Cincinnati. The New Prospect Baptist Church is one of the largest black congregations in Cincinnati. And so they did this on February 8th, put them through the certification class for the state of Ohio. This is pretty sweet. Karen Bolden, 56 years old, she says, was so scared of her husband's guns, she asked him to get rid of them when they got married 2 years ago. He did, but she's working to conquer her fear. When Bolden's sister alerted her to the class and suggested they go together, she jumped at the chance. This is what she said. She says, this is why this class is so important. We can't be afraid. This article I'm reading says, the class was organized by two men, the church's pastor, Reverend Damon Lynch, and Cincinnati City Councilman Jeff Pastor, and said he appeared in class sporting a T-shirt reading, "All gun control is racist." We're getting this message to you because this is Black History Month, and we started the show off today talking about that with Rhonda Ezell, a black gun rights activist out of Chicago. But yes, the history of gun control in America is strictly racist. It was put out there so that freed slaves could not have access to firearms. And it is still amazing to me that so many people, particularly the black community, aren't aware of that. And as Rhonda Ezell said, they will blithely go out there and protest in an effort to give away their rights. Not even allowing somebody to take them. They're saying, please, please take my rights away from me. Pure insanity. 866 Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham.
Clips, magazines, bullets, cartridges. What's all the fuss? Here's the guy with the answers, Tom Gresham.
All right, welcome back. Tom Gresham here. The number is 866 Talk Gun or Tom Talk Gun. That'll get you in here. Jim has done exactly that, calling in from Port Huron, Michigan. Hello, Jim. What's this deal with a local TV station? What's going on?
Yeah, hi, Tom. Yeah, there was a report recently on the Detroit ABC affiliate that they found an AK-47 tucked behind an ice machine at a hotel in Detroit, and of course they called the police. And the reporter,
I wondered where I left that thing.
Yeah, and the reporter kept referring to it as an assault rifle. He made that comment several times, and then at the end of his report, he said, "And this gun was registered, but to whom we have to find out." And I thought, okay, hold on a second. I got to write him an email. And I wrote him a very nice email and I explained to the reporter about the assault rifle term and the difference between a semi-automatic and a full automatic, just in a couple of paragraphs. And then I said, and also in the state of Michigan, you don't have to register a long gun. And at the end of my email, I said, and if you're interested, I'd love to take you out shooting. And I quickly got an email back from him, and he said I wasn't aware of the long gun registration or not having to register them in Michigan, and I'll be more careful with the assault rifle term. And he says, I'd love to take you up on your offer to go shooting, and I'd like to bring the cameras. And so my question for you is I need a little advice. I've never done this before in front of a camera. I want to make sure I get the right message out. What should I be careful of here?
Everything, but do it. But do it. And I'm glad you said careful. Here's what I would do. I'm just going to walk you through what I would do if I were doing that, okay? Okay. I would say, absolutely, we're going to do that. If there's any way possible, can you do this at an outdoor range so it's not quite so loud?
I could do it at an outdoor range, and I might have access to a private indoor range, or I shouldn't say a private indoor range, but I might have access to a police range. I have a son-in-law who's a police officer.
If you can get a range where no one else is shooting, because that's going to be really important for the audio for them, okay? And if you can arrange for that and then tell them, look, I got us a range where nobody else is shooting so that your audio will be okay. And he'll go, oh, this guy's paying attention. Now, when you get to the range, it'll be you and the reporter and the camera guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First thing you do when you get out there, say, okay, we're going to have a safety briefing first. And tell them we're not going to do anything that is unsafe. And for the camera guy, don't ask me to point a gun at you, even posing, even unloaded. That's not going to happen. Okay? We're going to be doing, and if at any point anything makes you feel uncomfortable, you say so, we'll stop and back up and talk about that. So you get, first thing you're doing is saying, guys, it's going to be safe. Regardless of everything else we do, we're not going to do anything unsafe. Well, that puts it into their mind kind of who you are and how you're presenting this. And then I would have 2 or 3 guns out there and say, let me just tell you a little bit about this and how these operate, and go through kind of the nomenclature, the whole deal. And this is a magazine, and this is, not a clip, blah, 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 that whole deal. Mm-hmm. Do you have access to a 22 you could start them with?
I do. I got a couple of 22s. I got a 22 semi-automatic. I got a 22 rifle.
Perfect. Start them with a 22. Get targets up close. Reactive targets are best. If you could have them hitting steel, even better. Having fun. And then move them up to the other. Obviously, you need eyes and ears for both of them. The camera operator may say, oh, I have earbuds. That's great. Put these on in addition to that.
Okay.
Because these things are loud, and I want to protect your ears. Also, he will say, I can't really use the camera wearing glasses. Say, well, then we don't get to do this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And look, I do TV all the time. That's what I do.
Right, and that's why I'm calling.
And the camera guys will go, oh, God, I wear these. Yes, you have to wear these. Get them some clear shooting glasses. Go buy some, cheapo $3 clear shooting glasses.
I've got 3 or 4 pairs in my Grange bag that just in case somebody doesn't bring glasses.
You want the ones that have no scratches on them for the camera guy.
Okay.
It's important. And you get him nice, clean, good, unscratched, clear glasses, and then you go through the drill, and we're just going to go nice and slow and then answer any questions. Hey, do you have any questions? We're going to try this. Nice and slow. Ease them into it. Make the targets close. Make them easy. If you're shooting steel, though, be sure you're far enough back so nobody gets hit by any frags, okay?
Yeah. I don't think I have access to a steel target, but I do have access through my son-in-law to a full automatic that I could maybe have my son-in-law kind of demonstrate that. You think that would be a good idea?
I would think maybe I might stay away from that because there's always the possibility they confuse the editor gets back and confuses it and they use the wrong one, and here we go.
Okay, good.
Get some shoot and see targets, the ones that the bullet holes show up easy on them. That's going to help out the camera operator as well.
That's good.
And if you would suggest, the camera guy may not know, this is from me who produced a lot of TV about guns, have him shoot B-roll of target hits. So set up the camera on a tripod or whatever he wants to do, so he's zoomed in on the target so he gets a bunch of hits. Because seeing people shoot without seeing targets being hit is less than satisfying. And he when he gets back and they're doing the editing, he will be very glad he got the target hit shots on B-roll.
Great advice. Thank you.
Okay. And the main thing is to be friendly, smiling, happy, safe. Everything's about safety there. And you'll be doing wonderful stuff. If you have a chance, and I'm kind of going way off script here. If you have a chance to bring a woman shooter out with you, even better.
I have access to 2 daughters that love to shoot.
Home run. You're there, man. You got it. You got this under control. Yeah, there it is.
All right, Tom.
So have fun with it and let us know how it goes, okay?
I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we want to see the video. Let us know what station it's going to run on. We'll check that out, okay?
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Here's what I got to do. I'm going to bring in our guest, and then we're going to go to the break because I want you to know who it is. We got Phil Journey coming in here. Judge Phil Journey. He's been with us before. He's a Second Amendment activist. He's involved in politics, and he is a former, long time ago, NRA board member and running for the board now. Phil, how are you, sir?
Great, Tom. Thank you for having me on. By the way, I thought your advice was right on the money with the caller.
Well, of course, you have done a lot of this, and so that's why I wanted you to listen in so you could kind of weigh in. And I've run us right up against a break, so I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the match that you were just involved with a whole bunch of people shooting projectiles downrange, and also kind of your thoughts about this election and what people can do in terms of getting involved and helping the Second Amendment. Fair enough?
Great.
All right, good deal. We're right back with Phil Journey, Judge Phil Journey. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
When the U.S. military's elite units and law enforcement agencies across the globe demanded innovation and reliability, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. When world champion professional shooters demanded precision accuracy, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. So it's no surprise more and more civilian gun owners are refusing to settle for anything less. They're choosing Sig Sauer firearms, ammunition, electro-optics, suppressors, air guns, and training. Sig Sauer. Never settle.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Since 1994, Crimson Trace has defined and built the laser sighting category through design, innovation, and performance. With an obsession to create best-in-class electro-optics, Crimson Trace now offers a full line of lasers, lights, reflex sights, red dot sights, and rifle scopes for tactical and sport applications. Most Crimson Trace products include free batteries for life, and all scopes are backed by a lifetime warranty. Find yours at your local dealer or at crimsontrace.com.
So during the break, we're working on helping out Jim with this going to the local range with a local TV station. If you get invited to go shooting, or if you invite a TV reporter to the range, that's a great thing. Just do it carefully, plan it out, make sure you stress safety. If you can do it at a range where there's no one else shooting, that would really be helpful, because you don't have the distraction, and also just from a standpoint of cameras and audio, that's a real problem. With a bunch of guns going off, it's hard to do interviews and things. So just kind of food for thought, but that's a really good outreach. And then if you can bring in youngsters involved, even better. Well, speaking of youngsters and shooting, we're visiting right now with Phil Journey. He is our judge, Phil Journey. I guess, weren't you just at a match with a whole bunch of kids?
Yes, yesterday Yesterday we had our match here in Sedgwick County, which has Wichita in Kansas. That's the largest city in the state. We had a 4-H competition. These counties host competitions all over the state during the indoor season. We had 189 competitors between the ages of 8 and 16. Over 100 in BB gun, which they generally run from 8 to 14, and then 50 in air rifle, which is from 12 to 18, and then 30, I'm looking at my notes here, 30 in air pistol. And so it's a qualifying match for the state championship. So if they shoot well enough at one of the county matches, they can go to the state championship for air rifle or air pistol. BB gun has a different process.
That's a lot of youngsters at a match shooting range.
It was an indoor range because it's the indoor season. We're very blessed with great facilities here in Wichita that we use regularly. We have practice Monday night for BB gun, and Tuesday night is for air rifle and air pistol generally.
Am I correct? I seem to remember hearing somewhere that 4-H may be the largest organization teaching youth shooting in the country.
I would not doubt that being true. The national championships for small bore, after they turn 16, then they can shoot small bore rifle and pistol.
22 rifles.
And then as soon as April comes, we switch to archery and shotgun and the small bore rifle and pistol, which are the outdoor competition disciplines.
How long have you been doing this?
Almost a decade.
Wow.
A decade. Yeah, both my youngest kids went through it, and now my granddaughter's in BB gun, and she's
that's
really
cool.
enjoying it.
Don't you find this is one of those things that you start off thinking you're going to be helping them, and then you end up getting as much or more out of it than they do?
Well, I shot a little bit in college, so I do have a lot of fun. It is a wonderful thing to watch these children grow up in the program, and it helps them develop self-discipline. I've gone through 4-H training for both rifle and pistol. I'd like to do muzzle loading. We dropped our muzzle loading program when one of the main instructor moved. He decided to go to Alaska. Can't blame him on that part, though.
But, that's a good point. But you really need adult instructors and mentors in this, and sometimes the very existence of a program can depend upon having a motivated adult running it.
Well, and it absolutely has to. I mean, it's the most unfortunate thing that we deal with is that we almost always have a waiting list because we just don't have enough instructors. And to be an instructor is a pretty huge commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 3 or 4 days training to be certified in a discipline. It takes quite a bit of time on the part of the instructor, and depending on how the program's structured, it can be more flexible. If they've got enough volunteers, then they've got some flexibility. And if somebody says, I got a wedding I got to be at or something like that, then somebody else can jump in.
I'm going to take a wild stab here, but I'm going to guess that of all these kids going through this program, not one of them has shown up in front of you in your day job as a judge.
Well, stranger things have probably happened, but I can't think of anything yet.
It's pretty unusual. Generally, it's been my experience that young people who get involved in competitive shooting, they learn discipline and self-reliance and a whole lot of other good things, and they're entrusted with a powerful tool, and they rise to the occasion. It's just been my experience. They don't get into trouble, and I know it's a broad statement.
I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah,
I think there is.
All right, so
I don't think it's been quantified yet, but I think there's a lot to be said for that theory.
You are a veteran of politics and of gun rights, and we are in. I know everybody always says every year this is the most important election, yada yada, but I swear I've never seen anything like what we're looking at this year, and would love to get your take.
Well, every election cycle is unique, and I've been involved in 100 campaigns. The first statewide campaign I worked in was the U.S. Senate race in 1984. And there's lots of things that people can do to get involved and get in on the ground floor and gain experience, and then as that experience and training is developed, then they can move up in the campaign structure and become someone that oversees, for example, volunteer coordination or, the public relations or, basic strategy, message development, things like that.
But you got to start somewhere.
Everybody can do.
You got to start it as a volunteer, whether it's putting up signs or knocking on doors or making phone calls or carrying stuff or doing stuff and learning the process. And once you develop more skills and more experience, you become more valuable to campaigns and you can help people out. But the main thing is to show up, to make the calls, do all that. Phil, I've run you up against another break. Can you hold on with us?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to do that, and I apologize, but we had such a good call to start us off for this fellow who is doing this outreach with this TV show. We just had to do that. I'm talking with Phil Journey, and when we come back, we'll also mention in brief, I know people are asking, the NRA Board of Directors. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. Our number, 866-TALK-GUN. What are you doing for gun rights? Are you volunteering? Have you gotten involved with the campaign? I'd love to know. All right, back with you, Tom Gresham. We're talking with Phil Journey. He is a judge, Second Amendment activist, a shooting instructor, and a veteran of the political wars out there. And Phil, we'll just touch briefly on the impact or the importance of this particular election with the Bloomberg dollars coming in everywhere. If you would, how do you sum that up when you're trying to explain it to somebody?
Okay, Okay, Michael Bloomberg has spent more money already than Obama did in the entire year 2012. Now, three campaigns, three things make up a campaign: time, money, and volunteers. Time's finite. Money and volunteers can replace each other to a degree, but they can't completely replace each other. You know, I mean, a politician has to develop message, and then they have to close the sale. It's like selling something door to door.
Sure.
The races that I think are important right now are the United States Senate races. There are 8 races that are either leaning one way or the other or toss-ups, and that's like Michigan, Alabama, Kansas, Arizona, Maine, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan.
Okay.
So those are races where it's important to maintain a pro-gun majority in the United States Senate. It does. If you look at the polling now, it does not look like there's a reasonable probability of a pro-gun majority being developed in the United States House.
So we have to keep
so
the
every
Senate,
time you can put a block in the way.
In the Senate, of course, I want to say this. Also, assuming Trump gets reelected, allows him to keep putting judges on the benches, and that is, in my view, the most important thing.
Well, and that is another block to anti-gun rights policies that could come out of the United States House of Representatives. Absolutely. And it's absolutely critical on the executive branch and the legislative branch. Because I'll tell you what, it's a lot cheaper to win an election in time and treasure than it is going to be to try to defeat a bad law in the courts.
Look at Virginia right now. Holy cow. You know, they're fighting for their lives when they could have just won it all by going to the polls in November and getting gun owners to register to vote and then to get them to the polls and vote. So there's that. I don't want to let your time run out without mentioning that you are running for the board. A lot of people have already sent in their ballots so far, but the board for NRA.
The vast majority have not.
The vast majority have not. You're running for the board. I have endorsed you. You know, you and I disagree on at least one thing. Only that you won't say what you're going to do. You're taking that position of you actually want to see the evidence. But I am openly calling for the removal of Wayne LaPierre, and I'm hopeful that whichever board members get in there will look at it hard and actually make that happen. And I know you're not going to commit to that. But I've known you for a long, long time, and I'm just going to let people know. People ask me, who am I endorsing? You're the guy.
You have to dig a little deep on MLN, but I wrote a nice piece about the position on that. And, you know, the reality is that much of the information has been developed by the Trace, the reporters of the Trace, Mr. Spies, and the New York Times and the Rolling Stone. And I don't entirely trust any of them. You know, the Trace is paid for by Everytown and Michael Bloomberg.
Sure. The Trace is created by
the New York
Bloomberg.
Times and the New York Post, and I want to make sure everyone understands that I understand the concerns and that I want to take a look at everything and try to put some objective analysis to it.
And then get rid of Wayne LaPierre.
And see where it goes.
I'm just
saying. See where it goes.
Look, $250,000 for suits and private jets and all the rest of it. Look, we're going to be out of time, and I'm not asking you to commit to it. I'm just saying that is more than reason enough to remove him. That is using our money in a way that's not what we intended. And it's time.
I understand everything you're saying.
I know you do, and that's why you know that I'm endorsing you, and you're the only person I've endorsed. Phil Journey, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you here. All righty, you take care, my friend. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. What are you carrying these days? And are you thinking about buying a new gun? Oh, yeah, I just ordered a new gun this week. I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm going to try to join the Red Dot Revolution. Do you carry a Red Dot? I'd love to know about it.